Hello, this is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Um, well, you know, wow. Yeah. Yesterday, tragedy struck El Paso, Texas. Picture this. You're a resident of El Paso, Texas. Your family member says, "Hey, I'm gonna go run to Walmart real quick. I'll be back." All right, real quick turns into a little long. A little long turns into at least an hour, couple hours. You begin to get worried. So, you call the person on the cell phone, no answer. Uh, it's like, okay, I wonder where they're at. Maybe you're not worried too much. Maybe you are. You turn on the TV, and your favorite strip mall is filled with cops, flustered, worried people, scared people, and all of a sudden you hear people talking about a gunman entering the shopping area. First, it was described to him. He started out in the parking lot, started shooting, and then went inside the Walmart and opened fire. And you know what? It's very sad and it's very tragic. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah. Here's some pictures from the scene of this tragic incident. And this is actually like a second mass shooting, from what I understand. There was a mass shooting in California at the Gilroy Garlic Festival, if I'm not mistaken. I think 9 were left dead and 20 people were injured in that attack. And you turn around and you see this. Now, in the bottom right hand corner is a picture of the actual gunman entering the Walmart, holding a long rifle, an AK 47. And, you know, the lives of many families have been changed forever due to this extremist. Uh, the shooter has been identified as Patrick Crucius. Um, after the after this tragic incident, um, basically he was taken alive with no harm. Yes, that's now. I would say I'm glad at least law enforcement did their job. The job, to de-escalate a situation. But this is a situation that's already way escalated, and now you have at least 20 funerals being planned because this guy right here. Um, while some news sources and outlets will claim that they don't know what the motivation is, there has been an actual manifesto that might have been connected to Mr. Crucius um, shortly before this shooting. Um, basically, basically the manifesto was basically a fear mongering warning about a Hispanic invasion. Um, saying, and saying various things like this is going to compromise our white way of life. Maybe not verbatim, but basically a threat to their life if immigrants continue to flood this country. Um, he said that he also drew inspiration from other mass shootings, including Dylan Roof in Charleston, South Carolina. Um, and let me see if I can read this correctly. Um, oh, yeah, he also made references to the Christchurch shootings in New Zealand, where white gunmen killed 51 mosque worshippers in March. He claimed that he was defending his country from cultural an ethnic replacement brought on by an invasion. He also added that if we can get rid of enough people, then our way of life can be more sustainable. Basically, the like one of the one of the bases for just blatant racism. Now, now it is what it is. It is what it is. He's also like, and I know this isn't important, and we also need to stick to what's important, and I'll talk about that in a second. They say he's also a quote unquote Trump supporter. Now, I will say this: whether you are a Trump supporter, you're an Obama supporter, you're a supporter of any candidate in the Democratic Party or whatever, I can say this one thing. What's important is two things. Two things. Number one, you focus on this jackass who decided that he was going to bring he was going to be the solution to race mixing in America. It's just, I mean, like I said, I wonder in some way, shape, or form did the Native Americans feel that way when the first European settlers came over to the country, that they were being invaded. But as history will state, that a lot of those Native American tribes welcomed the early American settlers with open arms. They didn't think of it as some did. Some did think of it as an invasion, but um, someone realized that it was too late when I guess that first big meal happened that came to be known as the tradition of Thanksgiving. I mean, if you like, not to straw man the topic a little bit too much, but I mean, just this is what happens when ignorance is allowed to thrive. What are they? What are these people still keep teaching their kids? These racism deniers. Hey, like they publicly deny racism, but obviously the parents of Patrick Crucius were probably teaching him some really dumb things that that has been outdated, supposedly outdated for decades. But there are people still walking around with this mentality, like somehow a their white way of life is being threatened because they see a few brown people, a few people of color. Yeah, and they also, just like Dylan Roof, you're also threatened by race mixing. Um, but I mean, I don't know. It's a shame. Just number one, just focus on the fact that this guy, and then this is like actually the second mass shooting. There was another one that just happened, and it's like I think I think it's Dayton, Ohio, but I have to look it up again because it just broke. It just broke. Now you're gonna have politicians. They're gonna start making gun control their platform, and you're gonna have all these people like, oh, they trying to take our guns from us, which I don't think they're trying to do. They're just trying to get you. They're just trying to get America to register their nutcases. You know, but the important thing is this: you got one nutcase who decided to become an extremist and a murderer. Um, yeah, and how many of these immigrants did he get? It said three people that he killed came from Mexico. Three people. There are also six other Mexicans that were wounded. As far as the race of the other victims, I do not know. I do not know. But one eyewitness, as the Associated Press reported, is like one eyewitness at first, and like I know YouTube is against conspiracy theories, but in one report, they said one lady said that she saw four men dressed in black opening fire indiscriminately Then reports came out later that Patrick Crucius was the gunman. Now, I'm going to make this real quick point, and and I know YouTube is against conspiracy theories or anything like that, but this is just based off what I based off the kind of things that I see. In San Bernardino with that shooting, there were news reports coming out. There's like 3 or 4 men dressed in black opening fire on innocent people, and news reports came out not even an hour later. No, that wasn't the case. It was a Muslim couple. But that's neither here nor there. Um, what I'm trying, hopefully, what I can do is when I can post a link in the description of where the Associated Press said that. But I mean, it's hard to go against, like, I guess that's the picture they gave us, the one in the bottom right hand corner, where it's pretty tangible. It's pretty tangible. You got a shot of the gunman with the gun in his hand. In his manifesto, yeah, I thought you might like to know. In his manifesto, he was also hoping that the cops would kill him. But like I said, they did mention race and everything, and I'm about to mention race right now. You're not black. Cause trust me, like, for real, like, I've seen videos where black men would be using their right to bear arms or open carry. Like, there's been tons of social experiments. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find them. But I remember seeing a video where, like, a young black guy was using his right to carry, and I think they did like a thing a couple minutes earlier. No, not a couple minutes earlier. They did things a little earlier where they had a white guy walk around with the same weapon. You can clearly see. If I can find that video, like I said, I'll put it in the link. But you can clearly see when the white guy was okay, sorry, the Caucasian man was carrying the gun. There was one cop in the area. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Proceed. Nothing happens to the white man. Black man, same thing. Girl filming it with his girl filming it with her cell phone. Same thing. Next thing you know, cop cop SUV pulls around the corner. Cop gets out, points the gun immediately at the young black man. Points the gun immediately at the young black man. Points the gun at his pregnant girlfriend. Next thing you know, ton of cops show up. The guy puts his hands up, puts his gun down, and it's like the cops really like look like they had murder in their eyes. They're like, this dude pull anything, we gonna blow his top off. So I don't see what Patrick Crucius was talking about when he said that he hoped the cops shoot him, because he was taken without harm and without incident. Now I'm quite sure if he pointed a gun at, well, I can't even say that. I remember a video from a few years back. There was a gunman holding a pistol inside a New York park, and the cops talked him down. Dude was shooting at people. But like I said, try not to make those kinds of things important. Like, I'll try not to make those kinds of things important. The important thing is, okay, he's in custody. He's off the streets. And there are almost 2 dozen families that have to plan funerals for their loved ones. Yes, my condolences, and my heart is heavy for the families of the victims. and it may not even be over. It may not even that death may not even be over in that situation because over 26 were wounded, and I think if I read correctly, um, a lot of those people have been critically injured. They're hanging on by a thread. So more deaths could be to come. But it's a damn shame when things like this happen. Like, what are these guys thinking about? I mean, so many millions and millions of people in this country. America is a basic melting pot. And you have these little fear mongering narratives that, that some aspects of Caucasian society are trying to put out. That's saying that, that the mortality rate of their babies is not very good. And they feel like that Caucasian people are dying out. That most people be people of color within the next 20, 30 years. Just it's just a bunch of fear mongering. And these guys right here feel like that they are doing whatever they can to reverse the trend by killing people. So basically, racism deniers. That's something they've been trying to do for years and years and years. They say racism doesn't exist, and then a dummy like this surfaces up, and people are dead. So let me see. I also have audio. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up this audio real quick of an eyewitness. No, there's this audio of an eyewitness and how she described the horrific scene. Come on. Let's see. But this tragedy right there is indeed like like none other. Well, I ain't gonna say like none other. I mean, like that's just me sounding like I'm throwing words out there. I mean, well, to the family members of the deceased in each one of these situations, it's always gonna feel like this is a tragedy like none other. But and then like I said, they're gonna be political agendas. How did this happen? Could if we had had more gun control and we banned assault rifles, could this have been prevented? I mean, like who knows? Because it's like how many people get killed with illegal guns every year? And I mean like operative word illegal. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Just want y'all to hear what's going on. Yeah, turn that down. Turn this up. And let's see if we can play this audio right here. Alright. This is a lady named Vanessa. Vanessa Sains, I think, describing, she was an eyewitness describing what she had saw, and then we're gonna be done with this video. All right, here you go. This is actually from Fox News. This audio, so just listen up, and I'll be done. All right.
Parking lot. We were doing our weekly grocery shopping. As I was driving in, I was looking for a parking lot, and all of a sudden you heard what sounded like fireworks, really loud fireworks. So I started looking to see where the sound. I started hearing to see where the sound was coming from, and I saw a couple of people in front of the Walmart. One man looked like he was dancing, and I thought that was kind of odd. And the pops, you could just hear the pops, one right after another. And at that point, as I was turning, I saw a lady. It seemed she was coming out of Walmart, heading to her car. So she had her groceries in her car, and I saw her just fall. And that seemed, my mom said, "Wait a minute, those aren't fireworks. Go, just go." And I started driving. I had to be careful because there were people running, kids running to their cars, parents with kids just trying to look for cover. and so I had to be careful as I drove off. At that point, the pops are just still going. I probably heard anywhere from 15 to 20 pops. I made it around to exit towards the back of the Walmart instead of getting on the highway, which I thought would be easier since it's my neighborhood and I know it better. So I turned around and I saw this man dressed in a black T-shirt with cargo pants, carrying what seemed to be a rifle, just pointing at people and just shooting straight at them. I saw about 3 or 4 just fall to the ground, and I thought, oh, my God. And I was at a stop sign, so there's other cars trying to get out, so I had to be very careful. So the last thing I saw was him walking into the Walmart, very nonchalant, like he was on a mission.
So Vanessa, okay, so this man, I just want to go over these details that you saw one more time. You saw one man, correct? Because we are hearing reports that there were potentially multiple shooters. So you saw one man in a black shirt and cargo pants with what appeared to be a weapon, and then you saw that person actually walk into the Walmart. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you describe him any further than that? Any other details about him that you saw?
Yes, I was pretty far away, but I could still see him. Like I mentioned, he was wearing a black T-shirt, camel-colored cargo pants. He was wearing something to cover his ears, I'm assuming because of the noise, the bullets, like headphones or really thick ones. He was carrying a dart rifle, and he was just pointing at people and just shooting. And, yeah, the last thing I saw, he shot somebody that was in a corner, and he just picked up the rifle and just walked into Walmart.
Was his face covered?
No, it wasn't. He had, like, the only thing that he had on was the earmuffs and, black dark hair. He was probably, I'm not sure, I'm assuming 5'10", 5'11", maybe late 30s, maybe. I couldn't really see his face, but it was not covered.
And did you say you saw a woman get shot in the parking lot and fall as she was pushing her grocery cart out of the Walmart? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir, I did. And that's when I thought, okay, these aren't fireworks. And that's when I drove around, that's when I actually saw more people fall.
Vanessa,
like he was just shooting randomly. It wasn't to any particular person. It was just anyone that would cross paths.
Vanessa, you said when we first got you on the phone here that you had your 1-year-old child in the car with you. What goes through your mind when that happens and you know that you have a 1-year-old in your car that you have to protect?
You hear it on the news and you feel for the families and you feel for the people that actually witness it, but to actually know that, that was me with my mom and my son, I count my blessings. It's pretty sad to know that there's certain people that aren't going to go home today.
Yeah. Well, Vanessa, I can hear it in your voice. You're obviously you're tearing up and you're shaken up after all this, and I can only imagine. I'm sorry you had to witness such a thing.
Yeah.
But our condolences to you, and I'm glad at least you got out of there safe with your family.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was courtesy of the Fox News. The lady you heard speaking was an eyewitness to the shooting. Her name was Vanessa Sains. Yeah, that has to be one of the scariest things ever. Like, seriously, to be in the midst of a mass shooter. So, okay. So our hearts over here goes to the families of the victims. Um, Also, we are hoping for a recovery of the other injured that are still alive, and hopefully this guy, the gunman you see on the screen, in the bottom right hand corner, excuse me, gets punished to the fullest extent of the law. You know, just punished to the fullest extent of the law. So it's just one of those times where you want to look at your, family member, hug them a little tighter, because I mean, you just never know. Period. You never ever know when that day is gonna come. You never ever know. All right, I'm about done. I'm done with this story here. Just there. This mass shooting right here, unfortunately, is the first of two mass shootings this weekend, because there was another mass shooting that was just reported. Um, so, okay, once again, probably said this a second ago, but my condolences goes out to the family and to El Paso, Texas. This is indeed a senseless tragedy. Uh, all right, this is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Like, share, subscribe. In Kev we trust. Goodbye.